So thank you for being with us all these days. But before we say goodbye, we'll now move on to our closing remarks. Our speaker is Biljana Braithwaite, the CEO of Sustineri Partners.
Can't believe it's time for the closing speech. Well, I've been asked by many of you over the last couple of days, am I pleased? Is this what we envisioned? And as the organizer, then my instinct, of course, is to say, are you pleased? You know, that's my primary objective here. But I did pause this morning for a bit and thought about, you know, what is it that we've envisioned and is that what we've achieved? And we wanted to bring together the people who have most influence on the ESG agenda in the region. We wanted to raise the profile of the agenda and bring home the importance of responding to it. We wanted to spend time in beautiful Montenegro, in Porto Montenegro. We wanted to have a good party, and I think we've done it. And it is thanks to everyone here that we've done it. It is thanks to you who came as delegates. It's thanks to our keynote speakers. It's thanks to our panel chairs, to our panelists, to our most wonderful moderator, and to those who presented innovations from all across region and Europe this morning. I thank Porto Montenegro for being such amazing partners and hosts. Thank President-elect for joining us to open the event yesterday. Thank you, Prime Minister, for joining us today, and thank you for recognizing and sharing in our vision from the very first meeting that I think we had almost a year ago now, when we discussed the idea. And thanks to Montenegrin government for the support, as well as to the municipality of Tivat. Last but not least, I've received and blushed too many times. My name was mentioned too many times. I've received too many congratulations. And frankly, all of this is a result of a hard work of the whole team. Each time you mentioned my name, you were mentioning a number of people. So without them, none of this would have happened, and I'd like you to join me in an applause for the team. A quick reflection on our teams. As Robert Spano said yesterday, no longer is ESG about flowery language. It is now a hardcore legal reality. The business of the future is sustainable business. Then we heard from a number of banking representatives who said ESG is integrated into investment decisions. There is more money out there in the region than there are sustainable projects. There is a need for financial industry, partnership, and for standardization. Green energy transition is critical for the region, and we've heard from both governments and the private sector about it. Social responsibility has to be at the core of how companies operate. And then gender equality plays part in it. And it's been a pleasure to announce today initiative of Women on Boards, Adria. And finally, this morning, we've just seen how what innovation can do to support the sustainability agenda, the potential we have for the region, and the support that is available for it. And now looking forward. This summit has actually created a momentum in a very short time, and so much so that the enthusiasm and interest did go beyond Western Balkan borders. And given that one of our themes is inclusivity, and we would like to welcome this in both practice and the name, I'm delighted to announce that we will expand and become ESG Summit Adria as of next year. Don't worry, we are not rebranding. No reason to rebrand. We are doing all right. Just expanding. And as Sustineri Partners, we will not be packing our bags and going home and coming back in a year. We will actively drive a number of practical initiatives from the conference and follow up with the ideas that were born here. And planning for our next summit begins, well, on Monday, because even an amazing team deserves a break. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Biljana, for your inspiring remarks. And finally, we are honored to have the Prime Minister of Montenegro, Dritan Abazović, to deliver the closing remarks. The stage is yours.
Dear ministers, dear President of Municipality of Tivat, dear partners, dear investors, professors, students, dear representatives of media, dear guests from the region, from the Europe, from the world, I'm late a little bit, but I want to say in the name of the government, welcome to Montenegro and welcome to Tivat. It's a great pleasure to be here. And this idea started when Biljana in one conversation said that they want to make one big event in Montenegro, and we asked what kind of event, and in explanation it was that we will have like small Davos in Tivat. I am now glad to say that we don't have any more small Davos, but we have the finally Tivat summit for the Western Balkan. Next year will be for the Adria, and I think that this is the great and right place to meet and to share the opinions about our sustainable future. An important point is to say that we are sending one different message from this area. Finally, we have in focus some topics which are important for the future, not for the past, and the future without sustainability, which is directly connected with the economical development and with all another progress of our society, cultural and in every another aspect. I think that from the Tivat is the message that we want to think in different ways how we want to build our future. I think that Montenegro is the right place for this. You know, but I want to underline, because this is our comparative advantage, we are only country in the world which is by constitution dedicated like ecological state. And the ecology have 2 points for me which are extremely important. First is this, which you have a lot of criticism also inside of our country, maybe also the same in the region, that people behavior is not so green. We have the problem with some kind of the places which are not so well protected. They are not so people, they don't use something what is the standards, and we need to work on that. But the second thing, which is much more important for our country, is that in Montenegro you can still drink the water from the river in the north of the country. And this is something what we should not leave to change. First point, it's possible to change with education, with more activities in the protection, in the changing of our daily behavior, all of us personally. And second thing is what we need to keep exactly how it is, to protect nature, to protect our rivers, our lakes, and to have some very unique place for all visitors, but also for the citizens of Montenegro. I believe that if you have some unique product, you will always find the persons and the companies which are ready to join some kind of projects. So we need to stay like a unique place. I truly believe that Montenegro in the future should think with another vision. That vision should not be short-term vision. We need to see what kind of country we want to have for 5, 10, or 15 years. If we have the clear goals about that, I don't think that we will have any kind of problem to achieve that goal. I am very optimistic, not only about Montenegro, but about the region. I think that everything what we can hear and what we are living daily in Western Balkan, like a place which is not still so interesting for the investors because they don't feel comfortable, good, they don't know, don't have too much predictable system or something like that. I think that people who comes in this region, especially in Montenegro, but also in the region, feel the difference. And I truly believe that most of you have this feeling after 3 days in Tivat, that we are the country which is pretty safe, very safe, ready for the new project, for the new vision, but of course need to give more contribution to have the focus on the right thing. I think that this summit, and this is what I want to underline, giving the possibility to put the focus on the right thing, on our future. I truly believe that economy will follow the situation. Everybody who wants to make the fair business in Montenegro is more than welcome. We are already starting with one very successful season, which I think that will be record in Montenegro, but this is not enough. We need to have the better infrastructure. We need to have the better airports, better roads, better connection also in the context of water, and we need to see how the access of people and mobility of people can be more effective. Why we need mobility in the region? Because mobility is way to reconciliation. Mobility is way to reconciliation. When we are together, we don't have any kind of problems, but we need to meet each other, to talk each other, to open dialogue with each other, to share the ideas, to see that we're dealing with the same problems. We can do that if we work on infrastructure, make more flexible our borders, and make possible to everybody have the access in different places. Somebody want to enjoy in Montenegro, somebody want to enjoy in Bosnia, in Serbia, in Kosovo, in Albania, I don't know, in another place, in Croatia, and we need only to make the easy access to the people. Bureaucracy is our enemy. Bureaucracy is enemy for the investment. Bureaucracy is the enemy of the progress. And the problem with bureaucracy is decision making. And I am always talking, like in name of the Prime Minister, that people have in public administration problem with decision making. They don't make decision. I personally think that it's better to, from 100 applies, to have 3 mistakes and 97 decisions which are right than to have 100 people who are waiting for the answer, year by year. And this is the problem. I think that this is the problem also in region. In every problem which I recognize in Montenegro, but I cannot speak in the name of my colleagues of the region, but I feel with ordinary people and with a lot of dedication, I can say that this is like this. We need to change this. We need to be more ready to make a decision. Some decisions are not easy, but are important for the future. And if we can make right decision now, we will have the results for something after 1 year, for something after 5 years, for something after 10 years. But we need to know that everything what we are doing in ordinary life is for the future generation. If we are not selfish in our interest, I think that we are in the right way. So, for the conclusion, for me personally, it's a great pleasure. And sorry, because I'm coming on the end, but I heard and I see that, everything was more than perfect. We want to have this traditionally, to have the summit every year in Tivat, to have this summit Adria, to include more countries, more our neighbors, but also another countries, and from here to send always the good vibration everywhere. Finally, I think that it's time for environment, for sustainability, and for the good governance. In that name, thank you very much. Enjoy Montenegro. Everybody are more than welcome, and please don't use the situation that your holidays and vacation in the period of summer using to come back in our country. Biljana, thank you very much. Thank you to Porto Montenegro, of course to all another partners, Bloomberg Adria, of course ministers in the government of Montenegro. Thank everybody and have a nice time in our country.